Thank you, SCLTV. Board will now come to order. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Alderwoman Tyus,
Present.
Alderwoman Middlebrook,
Present.
Alderman Bosley, Alderwoman Evans, Alderman Page,
Present.
Alderwoman Negracia,
Present.
Alderman Coder, Alderwoman Rice,
Present.
Alderman Gunther,
Here.
Alderman Stevens,
Here.
Alderwoman Schweitzer,
Present.
Alderwoman Howard,
Present.
Alderwoman Green,
Present.
Alderman Odenberg,
Present.
Alderwoman Peel,
Here.
Alderman Todd,
Here.
Alderwoman Davis,
Present.
Alderwoman Spencer,
Here.
Alderman Vaccaro,
Present.
Alderman Narayan, Alderman Cone,
Present.
Alderwoman Clark Hubbard,
Here.
Alderwoman Boyd, Alderman Gross, President Vollmer,
Present.
Alderman Bosley,
I'm here.
Alderwoman Evans.
Present and accounted for.
Thank you. Alderman Coder, Alderman Narayan, Alderwoman Boyd, Alderman Gross. 21 present, you have quorum.
Thank you, Sharita. Today will be led in prayer by the Reverend Demetrius Watson from Maple Temple Church. Reverend, are you with us?
Yes, I am.
All right,
Perfect.
we're all yours. Thank you, sir. Please pray.
Good morning, everyone. Let us bow our heads in prayer. Father, thank you again for your mercy. Thank you for your kindness again that you did wake us up this morning. And we thank you for that, God. We pray for your divine direction for these leaders of the city, that they may help us, God, to deal with the business of today. Bless us, God, with your goodness. God, bless us with your justice. Bless us, God, because you're a great God. We pray that you give them divine wisdom on whatever bills come up, whatever things they need to do. We ask your directions. We thank you because you have always blessed us, and we are so grateful for you doing that these many years. Thank you again. We ask you to, even the leadership, that the board, the leader board, God, we ask you to bless him as he guide the team. And we thank you in Christ's name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you very much, Reverend. All right, we will dispense with line item 3, introduction of honored guests. Any honored guests? I have Alderman from the first, your hand is up.
Yes, Mr. President, members of the board. Last week, I think I announced about my mother-in-law getting better. Unfortunately, she didn't make it. And so Sunday morning, she did pass. Her name is Mrs. Murnay Cooley Miller. And she was 92 years old, and she was a great woman. I was lucky to have her as a mother-in-law. And I'd just like to ask for a moment of silence for my mother-in-law.
Certainly, very, very well. Sorry for your loss. If we could have a moment of silence. Thank you. Again, sorry for your loss, Alderwoman.
Thank you.
And we have Alderwoman from the 19th.
Thank you, Mr. President, members of the board. Again, I'm going to give my condolences. As you know, Alderwoman, your in-laws were just so much to this entire community, and what a loss. I also wanted to have as my honored guest, Toby Wright, former NFL St. Louis Rams football player, and his brother Terry, former CFL football player. They are very much entrenched in their what I consider to be their finer years and working with youth in Arizona and around the country. And they've dedicated their lives to that. And so I welcome them. I thank them. They were a great, great asset to St. Louis. I worked with them with their nonprofit they established while they were here playing, and I welcome him for his visit. Thank you.
Thank you, Alderwoman. Alderman from the 23rd.
As always, I'd like to have my good friend Greg Meyer as my honored guest.
All right, thank you very much. Anyone else? Any other hands raised? Okay, seeing none, we'll move on to approval of the minutes.
Approval of the minutes dated Friday, June 24th, 2022.
All right, Alderman from the 25th, are you with us?
I am, Mr. President.
You're recognized for approval of the minutes.
Thank you. I'd also like to just acknowledge that today is Arch Day, June 30th. The arch is 630 feet tall. I'm glad that the alderman from the 23rd Ward was finally able to get out of that tram and join us this morning.
Yeah.
The approval of the minutes, I move that we approve the meeting minutes from Friday, June 24th.
Second.
Okay, we have moved by the Alderman from the 25th, second by the Alderman from the 4th. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Report of city officials.
Report of city officials can be found in A, B, and C of the agenda and has been placed in the alderman's mailboxes.
Thank you, Sharita. We will dispense with line item 7. Does anyone like to take any bills or resolutions off of any of our informal calendars? Does anyone wish to take any bills or resolutions off our informal calendars? All right, we will then move on to line item 11. First reading of board bills.
Board Bill,
There you go.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Board Bill 67, sponsored by Alderwoman Middlebrook. An ordinance amending ordinance number 67403 relating to a lease agreement dated April 2nd, 2007 to be extended in the second mutual option between the city of St. Louis and the Great Rivers Greenway District, authorizing the execution of a First Amendment to lease agreement between the city of St. Louis and the Great Rivers Greenway District for a period of 5 years, with one more 5-year mutual option for land rights in the near North Riverfront neighborhood at annual rents as set forth in said First Amendment attached to Exhibit A and contain the severability clause. Board Bill 68, sponsored by Alderwoman Boyd and Alderwoman Middlebrook, an ordinance recommended by the Board of Public Service authorizing and directing the president of the Board of Public Service to enter into a cost apportionment agreement by and between the Missouri Highways and Transportation Commission and the city of St. Louis, Missouri for various roadway improvements to Route 367 from Halls Ferry Circle to I-70. That's the extent of first reading of board bills.
All right, before we proceed, Alderman from the 6th, you have your hand up.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to move to suspend the rules to introduce Board Bill 69.
Okay, we should have done this a little earlier before we started, but I will allow it. We will have a motion and a second before us to suspend the rules to introduce Board Bill 69. Sharita, please call the roll.
Alderwoman Tyus,
Aye.
Alderwoman Middlebrook,
Aye.
Alderman Bosley,
Aye.
Alderwoman Evans,
Aye.
Alderman Page,
Aye.
Alderwoman Ingracia,
Aye.
Alderman Coder, Alderwoman Rice,
Aye.
Alderman Gunther,
Aye.
Alderman Stevens,
Aye.
Alderwoman Schweitzer,
Aye.
Alderwoman Howard,
Aye.
Alderwoman Green,
Aye.
Alderman Oldenburg,
Aye.
Alderwoman Peel, Alderman Todd,
Aye.
Alderwoman Davis,
Aye.
Alderwoman Spencer, Alderman Vaccaro,
I have not seen it yet, so I'll just vote present for now.
Alderman Orion, Alderman Cone,
Aye.
Alderwoman Clark Hubbard, Alderwoman Boyd,
Aye.
Alderman Gross,
I just logged on, so I'm just gonna say present. I don't know what's up.
President Balmer,
Aye.
Alderman Coder, Alderwoman Peel,
Aye.
Alderwoman Spencer, Alderman Orion, Alderwoman Clark Hubbard,
Aye. Can you
20,
hear?
yes.
Okay.
20 aye votes and 2 voted present.
All right, by your vote, you've supported the motion of the Alderman from the 6th. Was Sharita, was please add 69 to the first reading.
So noted. Board Bill 69, introduced by Alderwoman Ingracia, an ordinance recommended by the Board of Estimate and Apportionment authorizing the City of St. Louis Department of Health to enter into a cost reimbursement subward agreement with the St. Louis County, Missouri for up to $106,731.75 through August 30th, 2022 for the same amount of $106,731.75 for 2 additional one-year terms, $320,195.25 for over 3 years, enabling the DOH to hire 2 community health workers, authorizing the expenditure of grant funds by entering into contracts or otherwise for grant purposes and containing an emergency clause. That's the extent of first reading of board bills.
All right, thank you very much. Reference committee.
To the Convention and Tourism Committee, Board Bill 67. To the Transportation and Commerce Committee, Board Bill 60, I'm sorry, to the Convention and Tourism Committee, Board Bill 66, to Transportation and Commerce Committee, Board Bill 67, and to the Streets Committee, Board Bill 68.
And please assign Board Bill 69 to Health and Human Services.
So noted. To the Health and Human Services Committee, Board Bill 69. That's
All
the
right.
extent of reference to committee.
Thank you very much, Sharita. Second reading and report of standing committees.
The following board bills were reported out of Health and Human Services with the due pass recommendation. Board Bill 61, committee sub-sponsored by Alderwoman Rice and the following alderpersons: Peel, Clark Hubbard, Ingracia, Coder, Green, Switzer, Gunther, and Todd. An ordinance recommended by the Board of Estimate and Apportionment authorizing a portion of funds received under the American Rescue Plan Act of 2021 to the St. Louis Department of Health, authorizing contracts to expend the funds to the extent received, containing the severability clause and containing an emergency clause. Board Bill 65 as amended, sponsored by Alderman Bosley. An ordinance recommended by the Board of Estimate and Apportionment appropriating a portion of funds received under the American Rescue Plan Act of 2021, authorizing contracts to expend the funds to the extent received, containing a severability clause and an emergency clause. The following board bills were reported out of Public Employees with the due pass recommendation. Board Bill 58 as amended, sponsored by Alderman Bosley. An ordinance relating to the position classification and salaries of the employees in the Treasurer's Office, repealing ordinance number 69195 and enacting in lieu thereof certain new sections relating to the same subject matter and containing an emergency clause. The provision of the section contained in this ordinance shall be effective with the start of the first pay period following approval by the mayor. Board Bill 59 as amended, sponsored by Alderman Bosley. An ordinance relating to the position, classification, and salaries of the employees in the parking division, repealing ordinance number 69196 and enacting in lieu thereof certain new sections relating to the same subject matter and containing an emergency clause. The provisions of the sections contained in this ordinance shall be effective with the start of the first pay period following approval by the mayor. Board Bill 63, sponsored by Alderman Bosley, an ordinance to repeal ordinance 68706 relating to the appointment and rates of compensation of certain employees of the license collector of the city of St. Louis, enacting in lieu thereof a new ordinance dealing with the same subject matter and containing an emergency clause. That's the extent of second reading, reporting of standing committees.
All right, thank you. We will dispense with line item 14, move on to perfection consent.
Board Bill 3, sponsored by Alderwoman Negracia, Alderwoman Tyus, Alderman Vaquero, Alderwoman Boyd, Alderwoman Switzer, and Alderwoman Peel. An ordinance authorizing the honorary street name Ollie Stewart Way pursuant to ordinance number 68937, which shall begin at the intersection of Park Avenue and Cardinal Avenue and run east on Park Avenue to the intersection of Park Avenue and Montrose Avenue. Board Bill 11, sponsored by Alderwoman Negracia, and ordinance recommended by the Board of Estimate and Apportionment, authorizing the Department of Health to accept a local public health disparities initiative grant award of up to $1,326,325 from the Missouri Department of Health and Senior Services for the grant purposes of providing funding assistance with local efforts of reducing COVID-19 related health disparities, authorizing the expenditures of LPH Disparities Initiative grant funds for grant purposes and to fulfill the obligations of said grant containing an emergency clause. That's the extent of perfection consent calendar.
Thank you very much. Alderman from the 25th, you are recognized for approval of the perfection consent calendar. Alderman from the 25th. There
Thank
we
you,
are.
Mr. President. I move that we approve the perfection consent calendar.
Second.
All right, we have a move by the Alderman from the 25th. We have a second from the Alderman from the 14th. We approve our perfection consent calendar. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed?
Aye.
By your vote, you sustain the motion of the Alderman from the 25th and approve the perfection consent calendar. Board bills for perfection.
We have none.
Third reading consent.
We have none.
Third reading report of engrossment.
We have none.
0 for 3. Okay. All right, courtesy resolutions calendar. Alderman from the 25th, you're recognized on our courtesy resolutions calendar.
I move that we adopt the courtesy resolutions calendar.
Second.
All right, we have, I believe was that the Alderman from the 4th of 25th, 4th, all right. The move by the Alderman from the 25th, seconded by the Alderman from the 4th. We approve our courtesy resolution calendar. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Okay, and opposed? Motion carries. I see a hand up, Alderman from the 14th. You're
I would
recognized.
Name added to both of those resolutions, if possible. Resolution 47 and 48.
All right, Sharita, please take note of that.
So noted.
All right, thank you very much. Okay, first reading of resolutions.
We have none.
Thank you. Second reading of resolutions.
Report from the Public Safety Committee, appointees to the Detention Facility Oversight Board. Chair of Public Safety Committee appointee Reverend Darrell Gray and mayoral appointee Mike Milton.
Alderman from the 23rd, you're recognized on the chair of the Public Safety Committee's appointment to the Detention Facility Oversight Board and the mayor's appointment to the Detention Facility Oversight Board.
Yeah, I would like to vote them both out together right now if we could.
Okay, before we proceed, Alderman from the 1st, I see you have your hand up. You're recognized.
Thank you. I'm flying blind because I can't get my agenda for some reason. So that's very disconcerting. The clerk has tried to send it to me for twice, but I haven't gotten it. But I wanted to ask for a roll call and I want to explain my vote because I'm going to vote present because I really was going to vote no. And I didn't get to go to committee hearing because of my mother-in-law dying, but I do want to say Last time these two people didn't come out, I didn't like the verbiage that came from them that I felt like was a threat. That's all right, election's gonna come up and all of that. I don't need all that kind of verbiage, and it makes me not want to vote for you, okay? You never asked me for my vote at all, either one of you all. I've been here for a long time, and normally when people are trying to get nominated and appointed to something, they come and try to talk. They used to come and try to talk to the people on the Board of Aldermen. Now we have bypassed that, and it's like, well, if I'm nominated, I should be it. You don't come and try to tell me any reason why you should get my vote. And my vote is very precious. It comes from the people who I represent. And then when I see you out there, and I'm not on Twitter for a reason, because I don't want to have to respond to all of that craziness. But I did, people sent me this stuff, and a threat of, oh, well, that's all right. There's going to be election. As long as we have politics and we're still living, we're going to have elections unless we go into an undemocratic nation. And so I'm not going to vote for either one of them. I'm asking for a roll call, and they can be put together. I want to vote present, but I really want to say to them, I am disappointed and appalled at your rhetoric. And I really wanted to be at the hearing because I had some questions I wanted to ask Reverend Gray, and I'm going to put them in writing and send them to him. But your threats of there being an election, when you've been through like 10 or 12 elections like I have, so there's going to be an election, and the people will get to decide who they want. And if it's not me, I will live. I've been cheated and not really defeated. And I don't like your rhetoric. And I think I met Mr. Milliken or Milton or whatever his name is about the save the workhouse or close the workhouse. And I didn't like his rhetoric then, because I still think that even though we have now said the workhouse is closed, I think it's a mistake the way it's been done. We still own that property. I was here when we built the Criminal Justice Center. And so we did not build it to house people. As a former attorney with the Public Defender's Office, I don't like the fact that we don't have any place for our people to exercise now. I know why we built the Criminal Justice Center. We built it so that it would be a holding place for when we brought people from outstate, because we were having to wait too long as public defenders, as attorneys for the public defenders and circuit attorneys and the judges. We had to wait. So this gave us another place. But for us to just act like that, it's great. We closed I'm sorry, it's not the workhouse anymore. It's the annex. It is disingenuous to people. It is not going to work in the long run. We still own the building. I'm glad we still have it, because when we have people who are too many people downtown, we will still have to use it. I agree with the whole premise that we don't want to lock people up, but I think we went about it the wrong way. We should have been going after the judges for not doing proper bond issues, not saying about the workhouse. So even though it's closed and the mayor feels like that she's done what she said, it is a mistake. I tell you this with having come from very different parts of it. It's not a mistake not to want people locked up. I agree with the progressives and everybody else, but it's a mistake not to address the problem head on, which is the judges illegally not giving people bail. It was easier to blame a building than to call our judges into question and to call them on account. And what you all don't realize is that the Supreme Court has called our judges into question and told them to stop. And so when we start really addressing the hard issues, they will be to tell the truth and not make up some fantasy, because that was a fantasy. The whole thing of zeroing out the budget and then saying, oh, we have it closed, and then going, oh my God, we don't have any money to run it, and having to call it the annex. That's all was a joke. And the way that not Reverend Gray, but the other guy approached me and threatened me, I would never vote for you for anything, because I don't react to threats. I react to conversation and facts. That I'm a fact person. I'm going to go look the facts up. And then, Reverend Gray, I want to tell you how really disappointed I was that you supported Proposition R. That's a piece of junk, and it takes people's rights away to vote, and it takes away the right for people who have the majority vote to be able to win the elections. That's a piece of junk. And when you get out there and put your name on stuff like that, don't expect me. Do not expect me to okay that. It encompassed Proposition D, which we have 2 members on this board who I like that did not win the majority vote, but then they are on this board. That is wrong to me. It will never be right to me. It needs to be cleaned up. And so for that reason, I am not voting for either one of these people, and neither one of them asked me. And I would suggest in the future that if people want my vote, that they not threaten me, that they ask me for my vote so we can have a conversation about what my concerns are. And I didn't have it with either one of them. And I don't feel like that it would be right for me personally to vote for either of them because they use threats. And I don't like threats. Thank you.
All right, your
And I'm
request
asking for a roll call.
Your request for a roll call has been noted. Before we proceed, let's get a motion in a second here because it looks like we have discussion. So Alderman from the 23rd, you please make your motion.
I would move that we pass both Reverend Gray and Mike Milton out.
Entertain a second.
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 Okay, we have a motion by the Alderman from the 23rd, a second, I believe, by the Alderman from the 4th and the 8th. Any discussion? Alderman Howard, you had your hand up first. Please proceed.
I have a question for the Alderman from the 23rd.
All right, Alderman from the 23rd, will you yield to questions from the Alderwoman from the 14th?
Yes.
So we're voting on these
Please
both.
proceed.
Yes.
Alderman from the 23rd, are we voting on these both together?
We can, if you choose to want to split, we can. I mean, just make a motion to split so they're voted individually.
It's your call. It's your.
Well, I mean, I move that we just put them together. But I would also, if you want me to split them, I will.
I have one more question. It's up to you. It's your resolution. I have one more question. Why is, we have a complete dossier on Mr. Milton, but on Mr. Gray, we have the application, but no resume.
Well, his resume should have been there. It was in there last time. We didn't vote on him last time. We're in a new session. We passed it out of committee. I think if you would have brought this up yesterday, I know you had some issues with the.
I would advise that you split them, but it's like I said, it's your resolution.
No, if that's what you're asking, I'll change my motion.
Okay, if you're going to do that, then we're going to have to
Withdraw.
withdraw the second, withdraw your motion, and then make a new
Withdraw my
motion.
second.
Then I'll withdraw my motion and I'll make a motion that we split the.
Well, we will have to move to do one at a time. So if you're doing Mr. Gray first, or you're doing Mr. Milton first, choose your weapon and proceed.
Okay, let's do Mr. Gray, Reverend Darrell Gray first.
So please make a motion to.
Then I will make a motion that we pass Reverend Darrell Gray out with a due pass and get it.
Entertain a second. Second. I didn't get this. It was a second from 15th. Thank you very much. All right, we have a motion by the Alderman from the 23rd, seconded by the Alderman from the 15th, that we approve the appointee Reverend Darrell Gray. I have some discussion going on. So Alderwoman Boyd, you have your hand up. You're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just wanted to, it's short and sweet. I just wanted to ditto what the Alderwoman from the 1st Ward said. And so that's all my comment I had. She pretty much said what I've been thinking anyway.
All right, thank you very much, Alderwoman. Alderman from the 18th, Alderman Todd, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President, and thank you, both alders. Mr. Darrell Gray does live in the 18th Ward. He's a resident of the 18th Ward. I do recommend him due to his activities in the 18th Ward and his background in being active and has shown a lot of concern throughout my time as an alderman. Thank you, Mr. President, and thank you, board of all the people. I wish you would vote for Mr. Gray to sit on the board. I think he would be an asset.
Thank you, sir. All right, seeing no further hands up, discussion's closed. It's been moved and seconded. We accept the chair of the Public Safety Committee's appointment for Mr. Reverend Darrell Gray. And we have a request for a roll call. Sharita, please call the roll.
Alderwoman Tyus,
Present.
Alderwoman Middlebrook, Alderman Bosley,
I'm sorry. There's a motion for both of them, correct?
No, we are voting on Reverend Gray only,
Just-
sir.
Oh, all right.
Alderwoman Evans, Alderman Page,
Aye.
Alderwoman Negracia,
Aye.
Alderman Coder, Alderwoman Rice,
Aye.
Alderman Gunther,
Aye.
Alderman Stevens,
Aye.
Alderwoman Switzer,
Aye.
Alderwoman Howard,
No.
Alderwoman Green,
Aye.
Alderman Odenberg,
Present.
Alderwoman Peel,
Aye.
Alderman Todd,
Aye.
Alderwoman Davis,
Present.
Alderwoman Spencer,
Aye.
Alderman Vaccaro,
Aye.
Alderman Ryan, Alderman Cone, Alderwoman Clark Hubbard.
Alderman Cone is an aye.
Thank you.
Did you get my eye?
I'm sorry. Aye.
Mhm.
Okay, thank you. Alderwoman Boyd,
Present.
Alderman Gross,
Aye.
President Ballmer,
Present.
Alderwoman Middlebrook, Alderwoman Evans, Alderman Coder, Alderman Ryan, I votes, 1 no vote, and 5 voted present.
All right, 15 votes. By your vote, you sustain the motion of the Alderman from the 23rd and approve the appointee, Reverend Darrell Gray. All right, Alderman from the 23rd, you're recognized on the appointee of Mr. Mike Milton.
I would just make a motion that we pass Mike Milton out through the board here today.
Second.
All right, it's been moved by the Alderman from the 23rd, second by the Alderman from the 6th. That we approve the appointment of Mr. Mike Milton. Sarita, please call the roll.
Previous role. If
Any
that's
request for previous roll?
Objection.
There's been objections. All right, with that, Sarita, please call the roll.
Alderwoman Tyus,
Present.
Alderwoman Middlebrook,
Present.
Alderman Bosley,
Present.
Alderwoman Evans,
Present.
Alderman Page,
aye.
Alderwoman Negracia,
Aye.
Alderman Coder, Alderwoman Rice,
Aye.
Alderman Gunther,
Aye.
Alderman Stevens,
Aye.
Alderwoman Switzer,
Aye.
Alderwoman Howard,
Present.
Alderwoman Green,
Aye.
Alderman Odenberg,
Present.
Alderwoman Peel,
Aye.
Alderman Todd,
Aye.
Alderwoman Davis,
Present.
Alderwoman Spencer,
Aye.
Alderman Vaccaro,
Aye.
Alderman Orion, Alderman Cone,
Aye.
Alderwoman Clark Hubbard,
Aye.
Alderwoman Boyd,
Present.
Alderman Gross.
Aye.
I'm sorry, was that aye?
Yes, aye.
Thank you. President Balmer,
Present.
Alderman Coder,
May I change my present vote to I vote? I'm sorry,
You have that, Sharita?
yes.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Alderman Coder, Alderman Orion, 15 aye votes and 8 voted present.
All right. By your vote, you've approved the appointee of Mike Milton to the Detention Facility Oversight Board. All right. We have a hand up. It's the Alderwoman from the 26th. Please proceed.
Thank you, Mr. President, members of the board. Having voted on the prevailing side, I would like us asked to move to reconsider the vote on resolution 48, please.
All right. We have a motion to reconsider resolution 48. Do I have a second?
second.
Been moved by Alderman 26th and second by Alderman 27th. That we reconsider the vote on resolution 48. Alderman, please proceed.
Thank you, Mr. President. I would like to ask, this meeting moved so fast today. I really would like to make the motion to pass resolution 48 and bank on behalf of the 35 years of service that Rochelle Jones gave to our countless communities here. So with that, I'd like to make the motion to resolution 48 and bank.
It's been moved by Alderman 26th, but seconded by the Alderman from the 14th. Any discussion? Alderman from the first, you have your hand up.
I'm sorry, Mr. President. As I said, I didn't have an agenda. So when she said resolution 48, I didn't know what that was.
Okay.
I wholeheartedly agree with her. And if we do we have a moment that I could speak to the resolution or not?
You have the floor at this moment, ma'am.
I just want to say that as a female, we are always very proud when we see women taking giant steps forward, okay? And so I've known Rochelle Jones for a long, long time, and I watched her career through the police academy and just was always very proud as she took that next step, and that next step is often very, very hard for women to get promoted, especially within a paramilitary industry. My sister did 23 years in the military, and she tells me lots of stories about, you know, her journey to being promoted. I just want to congratulate Rochelle and tell her how she will be missed. And we're losing a couple of great people, the police chief and she at the same time. I just want to congratulate her and thank the Alderwoman from the 26th for sponsoring this resolution. And thank you for asking for it to be in bank. I appreciate that. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Alderwoman. We have hands up.
It was Alderwoman Middlebrook. I want to make sure we correct that.
Okay, all right.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It was her resolution. I just asked for it to be in bank.
All right, and before we proceed, I see lots of hands popping up, but this process, we're going to first have to take a vote to reconsider. We had the motion, the second to reconsider. So all those in favor of reconsidering, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Okay, by your motion, you have recognized, and we have the reconsideration of resolution 48 made by Alderman 26. At this point, before we pass, we have discussion going. I will go in the order as I see them. Alderwoman from the 19th.
Thank you, Mr. President, and members of the board. I just wanted to ditto everything that the alderwoman rather, from the first ward indicated. I've known Rochelle probably the majority of her career and watched her fulfill her educational goals and simultaneously move up in the ranks of the police department. One of the things that most people don't know is how much she mentored women in the police force. She had her own program that a lot of us supported her with, and having opportunities for women in the police department, not just in the city, but the county as well, anybody to come in. They had chances to talk with each other, to get a mentor, to have a time when they could just smile and have better thoughts that day. And we enjoyed sponsoring them and making sure that they felt special, and most especially that they felt as though we supported them in the job that they were doing. Because it's a dangerous job, whether you're a male or a female, to be a police officer. So again, thank you to her for all of the work that she's done over the years. And it's a shame that we have this age limit thing, because, you know, she could have been our next police chief. Thank you.
Thank you, Alderwoman. Alderwoman from the 14th, you're next.
I would like to ditto all of those comments previously. Rocky was down here in the South Patrol for a hot minute, and we sat around my kitchen table and had some discussions, and she is a stalwart in the police community, and I know she will be missed by all. Her leadership was top drawer. She treated people very well, and no matter what, and she was very attentive to her I guess constituency. So I admire her, and I'm sorry to see her go.
All right, thank you very much, Alderwoman. Alderman from 23rd, you are recognized.
Yeah, just
everywhere you go.
Ditto on what everybody said. She should have been the chief. When you talk to the officers on the street, they have more respect for her. Every time you would see her anywhere, she would say hi. She was always pleasant. I think, well, I really think this age thing is, we're losing a lot of good officers that actually mentor and can help. And as we lose these people, we're losing a lot of knowledge. Anyway, I did send her a personal congratulations and condolences for the city, because I feel it'd have been nice if she would have tried to extend her stay and stay just a little longer. And that was all.
All right, thank you, Alderman. Alderman from 26, you're going to have to make one more motion to, your motion will be moved to pass this and bank.
Yes, I move to adopt resolution 48 and bank.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Alderman 26. The first, second was from the Alderman from the 14th.
No, it was the fourth.
Fourth, okay. We'll put them together and come up with both of you then. 14th, 4th, and 14th. Thank you. And at that point, to move this in bank and pass out, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed?
Aye.
By your vote.
Aye.
Thank you very much. By your vote, we've passed resolution 48 in bank. Item 22, miscellaneous and unfinished business.
We have none.
Announcements.
Monday, July 4th, the office will be closed in honor of 4th of July holiday. Tuesday, July 5th, Health and Human Services will have a meeting at 1 p.m. via webinar. Governmental Affairs will have a meeting at 6 p.m. via webinar. Wednesday, July 6th, Parks will have a meeting at 9 a.m. via webinar. Streets will have a meeting at 10 a.m. via webinar. Thursday, July 7th, HUDs will have a meeting at 9 a.m. via webinar. Public Safety will have a meeting at 1 p.m. via webinar. Friday, July 8th, 2022, full board meeting, 10 a.m. via webinar. Thank
you, Sharita. If I could, I'm going to make announcements about the announcements that we announced. This is for our announcements. So It's not discussion. It's not opinion. These are announcements. Please have announcements during the announcement section. Thank you. And Alderman from 26, you are recognized.
Of course, thank you. Thank you for the announcement about the announcements. I just want to, during my announcements, I would want to say happy 16th birthday to Ishmael Botchway, who we all know and love down here. Excited for him and excited for the next journey this next year of his life. So we'll be celebrating him today. And then Delmar Main Street is having a grant writing support for business and nonprofits. It's virtual this evening, free. Virtual applicants will learn about the SLDC grant writing process and also have access to people even for hire. So if you want to build up capacity in your non-for-profits or your organizations in grant writing, or connect with some people that do offer that as a service, again, this is free, and you can go to www.delmarmainstreetstl.com. Thank you, and everyone have a blessed and safe 4th of July.
Thank you, Alderwoman. Alderman from the 12th, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President. I also have an announcement for the announcement section. An archivist from the State Historical Society of Missouri, located in the Research Center, has asked that I notify the public that they are accepting any archival materials, be it old correspondence, meeting minutes, newsletters, photographs, scrapbooks, diaries, etc., for their collections. So again, an archivist with the State Historical Society located at UMSL's campus has put out a call for old archival materials relevant to the city or the state of Missouri. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Alderman. Alderwoman from the 2nd, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President, members of the board. I just want to congratulate one of my favorite residents. This week, my sister, Tanya Williams, completed her last chemotherapy treatment. I'm so super proud of her and so happy. So yay, thank you so much.
All right. Thank you, Alderwoman. Congratulations to her. Alderwoman from the 24th, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just wanted to, the brief announcement, I'll get an earful if I don't. Shooting off fireworks inside city limits is inconsiderate and illegal. Please don't, especially with the problems that we're having with picking up bulk trash and with cutting grass on larger lots. There's fire hazards. Let's just try not to do that this year. I know it's an uphill battle. I know that my words are falling on empty ears, but let's try not to shoot fireworks off in the city of St. Louis this year. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Alderman. Alderman from the 8th, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President, members of the board. I wanted to reiterate the meeting on Tuesday, July 5th has already been announced, but we want this to be a public hearing on the bill to proposing a charter commission. So if you would help us publicize that, the goal is to get as much public input as possible. This bill will go forward. If we pass it, it will go forward to the voters in November. So there'll be plenty of time for discussion with our constituents as well as it moves forward. But I really want as much input as possible on this proposal. So Tuesday, July 5th at 6 p.m. is our public hearing for the Charter Commission proposal. Thanks so much.
You, Alderwoman. Alderman from the 5th, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President, members of the board. I always love the opportunity to celebrate opening of new businesses in the fabulous 5th Ward. And tomorrow, July 2nd, the Grill House Smokehouse Barbecue and Soul Food Restaurant will have its grand opening from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. tomorrow. And if you'd like to meet and greet with me in person, stop by at 2 p.m. I will see you there. And welcome to the neighborhood Smokehouse Grill House.
All right, thank you, sir. Welcome to them. Alderman from the 1st, you are recognized.
Sorry, I was trying to close my chat and I hit the raise hand. I put it down. Thank you, Mr. President.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. All right, very good announcements today. Thank you very much. With that, Alderman from the 25th, you're recognized on the motion to excuse.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that we excuse the alderman from the 7th Ward due to necessary absence.
Entertain a second.
Second.
All right. It's been moved by Alderman from the 25th and second by the Alderman from the 6th, I believe, that we excuse the Alderman from the 7th Ward. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
The ayes have it. All right. Alderman from the 25th, you are recognized on the motion to adjourn.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that we adjourn until Friday, July 8th at 10 a.m. via webinar.
All right, it's been moved by the Alderman from the 25th that we adjourn to July 8th, 2022 at 10 a.m. via webinar. I entertain a second.
Second.
Nobody wants to leave, huh? Okay. It's been moved from the Alderman by 25th, second by the Alderman from the 15th. We adjourn to July 8th, 2022 at 10 a.m. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Meeting adjourned. Say bye to the duck.